What if one decision could reshape the entire future of the Golden State Warriors? Not next year, not down the line, right now. Because even though they were knocked out of the playoffs in brutal fashion, it wasn't because they were too old. It wasn't because the dynasty had fallen apart. It was injury. Plain and simple. The kind that hits at the worst possible time. And now, the front office, those quiet decision makers behind the scenes, stand at a dangerous crossroads. Do they run it back? Trust the same squad that built one of the greatest dynasties in NBA history? Or do they break it up and chase one final desperate shot at a super team? Because make no mistake, Steph Curry still has the fire. He's not done, not even close. Draymond Green, still the heartbeat. Klay Thompson still has that ice in his veins. And this offseason, it's stacked. More talent, more cap space, and more pressure than ever before. The Warriors are staring down the most important moment they've faced since they first drafted Steph. One wrong move, and they don't just lose games, they lose legacy. They lose the chance to write one final chapter in what could be the greatest sports story of this generation. And if you've ever had to choose between staying loyal or making the hard change for a better future, then you'll know exactly what this feels like. In the next few minutes, we're going deep. The injuries, the tension, the front office chess game, and the one choice that could define everything. Because this isn't just another offseason. It's the most dangerous decision the Warriors have ever faced. And by the end, you'll see why. The 2025 NBA playoffs were a storm. Fast, loud, and impossible to predict. This wasn't your usual postseason. It was a full-on collision between generations. On one side, the young blood came crashing in. Tyrese Halliburton stepped up and took command like a seasoned vet, showing the world he's not just the future, he's the now. Anthony Edwards, flashy and fearless, gave us electric moments, only to stumble when the pressure peaked. And while players were fighting for survival, Paul Pierce turned the media landscape into a circus, stealing headlines with wild takes and feeding drama like gasoline on a fire. For NBA fans, it was emotional whiplash. You could feel it. Something was changing. The league was shifting. A new era was pushing hard, and the old guard, they were holding on tooth and nail. Right in the middle of that storm stood the Golden State Warriors, the team that once dominated the league, now caught in a world that felt like it was moving too fast to hold on to. The Warriors didn't go down because they weren't good enough. They didn't fall because the dynasty was over. They lost because of injuries. Untimely, unforgiving injuries that hit at just the wrong moment. One player limping, another out of rhythm, and suddenly the chemistry that made them unbeatable looked cracked. The fall wasn't because of age, it was because their luck ran out when it mattered most. And while the league celebrated its new faces, the Warriors story started to feel like a ghost, still there, still real, but fading from the spotlight. The truth? This dynasty isn't dead. Not yet. Steph Curry still plays like he's got something to prove. Draymond Green still defends like every possession is personal. And Klay Thompson, though quieter now, still burns with that deep fire only champions know. Now, the front office faces the toughest question of all. Do you rebuild, start fresh, focus on youth, and slowly fade the dynasty out? Or do you reload, risk it all, and build one final war machine for a last shot at glory? It all leads to one deeper thought. Were the Warriors truly outplayed in the playoffs? Or was something else at play? No doubt. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was incredible in the 2025 playoffs. His handles, his pace, his shot selection, it was all elite. But as the spotlight grew brighter, something else started to stand out. The whistles. Every time he drove into the paint, there it was. The sound of the referee's whistle. Even on soft contact, he was heading to the line, again and again. Meanwhile, on the other side of the court, Steph Curry was doing what Steph always does, cutting through traffic, hitting impossible shots, getting knocked to the floor, and hearing nothing. No whistle, no respect, just silence. And for Warriors fans, that silence cuts deep. It's not just about losing games, it's about feeling like your team, the one that built a dynasty, is suddenly being treated like an afterthought. The frustration isn't just with the scoreboard, it's with a league that feels like it's looking the other way. This might not be a mistake, it might be the NBA shifting its story, building up new faces, creating a new era, and in the process, slowly turning the page on one of the greatest to ever do it. Imagine being Steph Curry, the man who changed the game, turned a small market team into a global brand, and now you're not even getting basic foul calls, not because you're not good enough, but because the league seems ready to move on. But this isn't just about free throws, it's about narrative, it's about control. If the league keeps muting legends to highlight newcomers, what happens to the players who built everything? So if the league really is shifting focus, what should the Warriors do next? The 2025 offseason isn't just another break in the action. It's a make or break moment for the Golden State Warriors. Everything is on the table. The league is wide open. Cap space is shifting. Trade talks are heating up. And behind closed doors, big decisions are about to be made. For the Warriors, this isn't just about strategy, it's about legacy. Look at the core. Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, Andrew Wiggins, and Jonathan Kuminga. On paper, and when healthy, this squad can still compete with anyone. The chemistry is there. The championship DNA is still real. If things click, they're not just relevant, they're a legit threat. But pressure doesn't wait. The front office is feeling the heat. From the media, from fans, and most of all, from the ticking clock on Steph's prime. Every season that passes is one less shot at another banner. And the whispers are getting louder. Make a move! Shake it up! Do something now! But here's the twist. We've seen what happens when teams panic. The Lakers, chasing one last run, gave up everything for Russell Westbrook, and it backfired. The Bucks let Jrue Holiday go, and their defense crumbled. The Rockets swapped Chris Paul for Westbrook too, and lost their edge overnight. One bad trade, one forced decision, and the magic disappears forever. We've all seen it. You change just one piece too fast, and suddenly, the thing that made your team special, it's gone. So, here's the tension. If the Warriors make the right call, they could be right back in the finals. But if they miss, it could be the final chapter. Loyalty versus evolution. Stick with what's worked or risk it all for something new. But before they choose, there's one more question to ask. What's even out there that could truly change everything? The 2025 offseason isn't just busy, it's a feeding frenzy. Stars are circling, front offices are dialing, and behind the scenes, a storm is building around one name, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Rumors out of Milwaukee are heating up. After another disappointing season and questions about the Bucks' direction, Giannis might finally be ready to listen. And if he does, the Warriors, known for their winning culture and championship DNA, could be the loudest voice in the room. Now, picture this. Steph Curry, the greatest shooter ever, teamed up with Giannis, the most dominant physical force since Shaq. Inside-out dominance, spacing nightmares, defenses stretched and broken. It's not just a duo, it's the blueprint for a new dynasty. A modern-day Shaq and Kobe reborn for today's game. What makes it even crazier? The fit is perfect. Giannis owns the paint, Curry owns the perimeter, one's the hammer, the other the scalpel. Put them together, and it's basketball synergy at the highest level. But here's the catch. Going after Giannis means taking a massive swing. The Warriors would have to give up key pieces, maybe future picks and risk shaking the core. If they swing and miss, the dynasty could crumble for good. But if they land him, history changes, the league tilts, and Steph's final years could be more than a farewell tour. They could be a second prime. So here's the real conflict. When the shot at basketball immortality is right in front of you, can you afford not to take it? And that brings us to the bigger question. What does this mean for Steph Curry's legacy and the GOAT debate? Steph Curry has already done the impossible. He didn't just win titles, he changed the way basketball is played. From half-court pull-ups to off-ball chaos, he turned the NBA upside down. But now, in 2025, there's one final frontier, one more title. And suddenly, he's not just a legend, he's in the LeBron conversation. Think about it. 6 rings would tie him with Michael Jordan. The conversation would explode. It's not just about banners anymore, it's about brand battles too. Under Armour versus Nike, Curry versus Jordan versus LeBron. The basketball world loves debate, but Steph could turn it into something undeniable. For Curry, though, it's deeper than stats. This is about legacy, about how his name will be spoken when the lights go out and the trophies gather dust. Will he be the revolution who faded, or the giant who stood tallest at the end? Here's the twist. If the Warriors win 2 more titles, the GOAT debate shifts in ways no one expected, just like when Tom Brady won his 7th Super Bowl. That 7th ring didn't just win a game, it ended arguments. It closed the book. But to even have a shot at that kind of legacy, the Warriors need to act this summer. Safe moves won't cut it. They'll have to risk everything and maybe create the most dangerous duo of the decade. And now, with time slipping fast, we're left with one question. The window is closing. So what will they do? This offseason isn't just about trades or contracts. It's about rewriting basketball history. The Warriors stand on a cliff's edge. Staying loyal to the core might feel noble, but it could also be the final mistake. Because the truth is, great dynasties don't fade quietly. They either evolve or they collapse under hesitation. Now, Golden State has one last chance to make history, but it will cost them everything. Comfort, trust, maybe even their identity. This is it. The Warriors have a dangerous decision to make, and the entire league is watching. Would you swing for immortality or trust the team that got you this far? Steph's greatness deserves one last real shot, but getting that ring won't be easy. Because this isn't just about basketball. It's a legacy-defining moment for the Warriors and for the league. Want the full story as it unfolds? Subscribe now. We're breaking down every move this historic offseason. And tell us in the comments, should the Warriors go all in for Giannis or trust the core one more time?